Today, we're going to be diving into the top 2024 rookies for the Arizona Cardinals that have already made a big impact this year, and how Monti Ossenfort might have hit a home run in 2024. Let's get started. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back into another video. Definitely do me a huge favor, smack up that like button and subscribe for more Arizona Cardinals content. On this channel, we cover the Arizona Cardinals breaking news, conversational pieces, everything surrounding your favorite team. So subscribe it up. It's absolutely for free. Another huge shout out here to the channel members, all of the Arizona sports fan. Thank you so much for going the extra mile. You're all truly amazing. All right, everybody, let's go and dive right into it. Let's talk about the 2024 Arizona Cardinal rookies that have already made big strides and big impacts here for the 2024 Arizona Cardinals. Now, I've been saying this for quite some time. You need to be able to be a good drafter, right? That's how you build the foundation of a team, through the draft, right? And it's not just the round 1, round 2, it's also the round 4, round 5, and round 6, and potentially round 7. So Monti Ossenfort so far within the 2 years has absolutely changed the foundational pieces of who we have on this roster. As so far in the 2 years of Monti Ossenfort, we really haven't made a big splash move in free agency, but if the Arizona Cardinals can continue to get diamonds in the rough like they've been doing, even in 2023, your Dante Stills, Michael Wilson, Garrett Williams, right? Paris Johnson Jr. Now, obviously, nobody's saying that Paris Johnson Jr. is a diamond in the rough, but those are impactful players, and you're already counting for the 2023 season right there. So that's what you need to do. What you're looking for in the draft is to hit 3 to 4 out of the 7 round starters. Now, they don't have to be superstars, but they need to be good, solid pieces for your team for the future, because very rarely do you get an opportunity to get a really good, talented player at a fraction of the price because they are currently on their rookie deal. So let's focus here on the 2024 Arizona Cardinals rookies, and let's talk about the big impact so far that we've seen from these rookies in 2024. Now, let's first start off here with Marvin Harrison Jr. We're not going to really speak too much to this. I think everybody knows that when the Cardinals ended up getting Marvin Harrison Jr., this was the right pick at the number 4th overall pick. We're talking about generational talent, generational wide receiver, and if any other team was in the position of the Arizona Cardinals picking at 4, they most likely would have gone Marvin Harrison Jr. Now, as of right now, being the fact that we are a run-heavy team, I'm actually pretty proud of what Marvin Harrison Jr. has done so far. Right now, 33 receptions, 499 yards, 6 touchdowns, and averages about 15.1 yards a catch. Now, if you guys do not know, Marvin Harrison Jr. is tied at 4th with the amount of receiving touchdowns that he's had throughout all the wide receivers in the NFL. So, yes, I'm fully aware that his statistical yards might not be up to par with some Arizona Cardinal fans out there, but you got to give a level of talent here just a little bit of a breathing room, and I know he's going to be able to be that wide receiver 1 for the Arizona Cardinals for the longevity. Will he crack 1,000 this year? I mean, as of right now, I don't think that's currently the expectation, but he's truly wide receiver number 1 for the Arizona Cardinals, and the impact that he's had so far on this team is absolutely amazing. Now, let's move on over to my next player. Let's go ahead and talk about our 2nd round pick in Max Melton. Now, only recently have we started to see a consistent play, consistent opportunity here with Max Melton. Obviously, with Sean Murphy-Bunting going down and needed to, get some rest for a week, we ended up seeing a dosage of what Max Melton can do. As Cardinal fans, we say to ourselves, woo, that was a rookie mistake. Yeah, absolutely, because at the end of the day, yes, he is a rookie. We've seen some really good intangibles here from Max Melton, and honestly, being the fact that we're starting to see more and more playtime for him, in week 8, he had 100% of the snaps. In week 9, he had 100% of the snaps. And in week 10, he had 62% of the snaps. I do believe that his opportunity really relies on if Sean Murphy-Bunting will be available to play that week. And I do know that there is a lot of Arizona Cardinal fans out there that would love to see Sean Murphy-Bunting get benched for an opportunity to see this young rookie potentially get a lot more opportunity here. So statistically about Max Melton, there's nothing out there in the stats that's going to scream out to you saying that he's going to be a lockdown corner for the Cardinals for the future, but there is a lot of really good things that we've seen from him in the small sample size and the small opportunity that he's gotten so far, and I do believe that he can potentially be a cornerback number 1 for the Cardinals. A lot of people don't talk about how hard it is to translate from the collegiate level to the NFL level in that specific position. Only one of the hardest positions to transition into, and so far he is doing very, very well. Now let's move on over to round 3. Now the Cardinals ended up having 3 third-round picks this year. So far, 2 out of those 3 third-round picks are actually working out very well offensively for the Cardinals. Let's first start off here with Trey Benson, running back out of FSU. Now, there was a little bit of concerns when we first started to see Trey Benson in the beginning of the season. There seemed to be a level of hesitancy in his game, not really picking the right hole to kind of go through and kind of being, hesitant at the end of the day. But I think that's just one of those things where running backs, maybe they want to do a little too much, but being the fact that he does not have to be our star running back right now, I think that really truly did help Trey Benson because he's got an opportunity to take a look at James Conner, which currently right now is our workhorse on this offense. And with what we've seen so far here with Trey Benson within these last few weeks, I think the biggest knock on him was really opportunity, right? The Cardinals really haven't hit a stride offensively in the first 4 weeks, maybe even 5 weeks. There was a lot of inconsistent play. Within these last 4 weeks, we've seen the Cardinals do very, very well offensively, right? Or at least a consistent matter. So we started to see an uptick in Trey Benson's productivity on the offensive side of the ball, giving James Conner an opportunity to rest on the sidelines. And so far in week 9, he had 28% of the snaps, and in week 10, he had 27% of the snaps. But if you look at his stats so far in 2024, 49 carries, 216 yards, and a touchdown. He actually averages 4.4 yards a carry, and overall a really, really good asset for the Arizona Cardinals run game. We actually do have a very, very explosive run game, obviously with James Conner, Trey Benson, and Amari DeMarcado. Adding a talented player like Trey Benson here in the 3rd round, especially for the future, he could potentially be the Arizona Cardinals running back for the future. Now let's talk about our other 3rd round pick, and this is going to be Tip Reiman, 6'4", 273 pounds. Now, if you look at the statistics, he has 2 receptions, 6 yards. So this isn't a guy that's going to give you crazy amount of yardages week in and week out, but with what his services has done for the Cardinals on that offensive line, giving us another body that whenever he needs a little bit more time to survey the field and go through his progressions, Tip Reiman has been a very, very, very good asset for the Cardinals. Since the beginning of the 2024 season, he's actually had a lot of playing time within this Arizona Cardinals offensive line. You can't ignore the fact that since week 7, he's averaging about 50% of the snaps here on the offensive side of the ball, which is absolutely truly amazing because with what we have done, the run game as well as the play action game, can also attribute having a weapon like him can be very, very valuable for the Arizona Cardinals. And honestly, I'm really excited that the Cardinals ended up drafting him in the 3rd round. And I'm not gonna lie to you, when we first drafted him, I was like, okay, let's see what he can do. But so far, he's actually exceeded my expectations here in 2024. Now, we got 2 more players to talk about. I know, super weird. Usually, we're only talking about 2 to 3 players here in a draft class, but bear with me, ladies and gentlemen. The next guy I want to talk about is going to be none other than Dadrion Taylor-Demerson, aka Rabbit. Now, we actually seen him a good dosage within the last few weeks as well. Now, one thing that I want to mention here is that a lot of these rookies will only get good with opportunity, right? Now, we have seen some of these rookies obviously wait for their opportunity with either Jalen Thompson getting hurt or other edge players within our defensive line getting hurt. That is really based on when these rookies get their opportunity, and you got to really show out, because if you don't, business of the NFL, it's a really, really ugly business, and if you don't show out when you get your opportunity, a lot of times you can kind of fall by the wayside. But with what we've seen in the small sample size here of Dadrion Taylor-Demerson, I really do like what I've seen from him. Now, for him specifically, he is a guy that has to wait for opportunity, because right now our number 1 and 2 safeties is going to be obviously Budda Baker and Jalen Thompson. But last week in week 10 versus the New York Jets, we ended up having Jalen Thompson miss that game and gave Dadrion Taylor-Demerson an opportunity to shine. In week 10, he was out on the field 100% of the snaps on the defensive side of the ball. And Dadrion Taylor-Demerson in the 4th round, the Arizona Cardinals might have got a diamond in the rough there. Now, Xavier Thomas has actually had a pretty good production rate here in the defense for the Cardinals. He averaged about 15 to 30% here of the snap share rate from week 1 till week 10. Now, he actually didn't play here in week 5, week 6, or week 7. Being the fact that we have so many injuries in that outside linebacking core, gave an opportunity here for Xavier Thomas to jump into the role and become a part of this rotation. So far, Xavier Thomas has 4 solo tackles, 2.5 sacks, 1 forced fumble, and if you do not remember where that forced fumble came from, ended up happening to Aaron Rodgers. Very rarely do you get an opportunity to talk about 6 rookies in the draft class being such a big, impactful player. Now, there has been other rookies out there like Darius Robinson that we're all kind of expecting a big jump from, Christian Jones that we really haven't seen anything from, Isaiah Adams that we really haven't seen anything from as well. So we still got a lot of rookies in the pipeline on this 53-man roster or on the practice squad that could potentially be a really good asset for the Cardinals moving forward. Honestly, it sounds like a home run here from Monty Ossenfort. The foundational pieces have been set for the Arizona Cardinals for the future with Marvin Harrison Jr. and the rest of the guys that we spoke about on this video. Let me know who your favorite rookie is so far and how you think they've impacted the Arizona Cardinals in the 2024 season. Let me know in the comments below. I appreciate y'all for tuning in as always. Have a great rest of your day and go Cardinals.